Life is suffering, so why are we here? Discover Buddha's life-changing wisdom. You find yourself in a situation where every morning you wake up feeling anxious, and life seems like an endless battle. Loss, pain, loneliness, and disappointment weigh heavily on you. You wonder, if life is nothing but suffering, then what's the purpose? Why get out of bed? Why chase happiness when it feels so fragile, like sand slipping through your fingers? You are not alone. This question has haunted humanity for thousands of years. Over 2,500 years ago, Buddha offered a brutally honest answer that turned the way we think about life upside down, and it's not what you might expect. Today, we're not just scratching the surface. We're diving deep into the true meaning behind Buddha's famous statement. Life is suffering, and uncovering a powerful, life-changing path that transforms suffering into something meaningful. Something that can set you free. Buddha didn't shy away from the harsh truths. He saw suffering as an inevitable part of human existence. But here's the twist: instead of simply resigning ourselves to it, Buddha showed us that we can transform suffering into a tool for growth, wisdom, and ultimately, liberation. His teachings offer a way out, not by avoiding suffering, but by accepting it, understanding it, and using it as a gateway to peace. So, if you feel overwhelmed by the weight of life's struggles, know that you are on a journey as ancient as time itself. But the key is not just surviving it, it's learning how to grow through it. When you begin to see the world through Buddha's eyes, you'll discover that even the darkest moments can hold the potential for profound transformation. And that, my friend, is where true freedom begins. Part 1. Understanding the nature of suffering. It's not just pain. When Buddha said, life is suffering, he wasn't merely pointing to the obvious pain or tragedies we all face. The word he used, dukkha, carries a much deeper meaning. It refers to a persistent sense of dissatisfaction. A subtle discomfort that something just isn't right, even when everything on the surface seems fine. Think back to the last time you got something you truly wanted, maybe a new phone, a new relationship, or the dream job you've been chasing. How long did that excitement last? A few days? Maybe a few weeks? Then something else caught your attention, or that initial thrill simply faded away. This cycle of desire and fading happiness is the essence of dukkha, the human experience of constantly wanting more, and never feeling completely satisfied. I remember, after a painful breakup, lying alone and scrolling through old photos, feeling like my happiness had vanished forever. In that moment, I realized something important. I had been chasing happiness as if it were the final destination. But in reality, it was more like running on a hamster wheel. Always moving, always striving, but never really arriving. Buddha saw this endless craving, and understood how it traps us in suffering. This craving, this constant yearning for more, is at the heart of human dissatisfaction. And until we learn to step off that wheel, we remain stuck in the cycle of desire. Always striving but never reaching true fulfillment. Buddha's teachings offer us a way to break free from this cycle. By understanding and transcending the endless pursuit of external satisfaction. Part 2. The Happiness Trap. Why we can't stop chasing more. In today's world, we are constantly surrounded by messages telling us that happiness can be bought, earned, or achieved. Whether it's a new gadget, a bigger house, the perfect job, or the ideal relationship, we're conditioned to believe that more is the key to fulfillment. Our brains are wired to want more, and this constant craving is reinforced by social media, advertisements, and the fast-paced nature of modern life. Every time we get something we desire, that craving quickly shifts to something else. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much you pour in, it never fills up. This is exactly what Buddha referred to as the first noble truth. He didn't just say life is suffering. He highlighted how suffering arises from our constant desires, the never-ending pursuit of more. The reason we feel dissatisfaction isn't because there's something inherently wrong with us. It's because we're caught in a cycle of craving that leads to short-term gratification and long-term emptiness. But here's the key point: it's not a bleak diagnosis, it's the doorway to freedom. In modern society, this cycle is amplified by the world around us. Think about it: every time we buy something we think will make us happy, the joy is fleeting. We get the latest phone, and for a few days, it's exciting. Then, the newness fades, and we begin to look for the next thing: a bigger phone, a more expensive gadget, or the latest trend. This constant chase for more might seem harmless at first, but it quickly becomes an exhausting loop. Even when we succeed in getting what we desire, we often feel a temporary rush that fades just as quickly, leaving us feeling empty once again. This is the happiness trap. It's the cycle of wanting more, getting more, but never feeling completely fulfilled. And it's not just about material things, it's also about our search for approval, recognition, and success. We might think that a promotion, or a better job title will finally bring us peace. But once we get there, we find ourselves looking for the next big thing. The feeling of accomplishment doesn't last long, and the craving begins again. But Buddha's teachings don't stop at just pointing out suffering, they offer a path to liberation. Buddha invites us to recognize the cycle of desire we're trapped in. Once we understand that our cravings for temporary satisfaction keep us in this cycle, we can begin to break free. Real happiness doesn't come from accumulating more, it comes from recognizing the emptiness in chasing fleeting desires, and learning to let go of the need to constantly fill that void. In today's fast-paced, consumer-driven world, recognizing this truth is more important than ever. We are bombarded by images of the perfect life. The beautiful house, the ideal vacation, the perfect body. Social media has made this endless comparison even more overwhelming. Every time we scroll through Instagram, or watch the latest ad, we're shown a life we're supposed to want, a life that promises happiness. But all these things are just temporary fixes. They fill the hole for a moment, but they don't make it go away. They are the sand slipping through our fingers. Breaking free from this cycle starts with acknowledging that real peace and happiness don't come from external things. True freedom is found when we stop seeking fulfillment in things that can never truly satisfy us. Instead, happiness comes from within through self-awareness, self-acceptance, and the ability to live fully in the present, without the constant need for more. When we let go of the desire for endless accumulation, and embrace a life of mindful presence, we unlock a deeper, lasting peace that external things could never provide. By stepping off the hamster wheel of wanting more, we can start to experience life as it truly is: rich, beautiful, and full of meaning. Not because we're chasing after the next thing, but because we're fully present in each moment. And that's where true happiness lies. Part 3: Enlightenment, not a destination, but a lifelong journey. Many people imagine enlightenment as a trophy, the ultimate prize where all suffering disappears, and peace reigns forever. but it's more like learning to play an instrument in an orchestra, a lifelong practice. You don't stop practicing after one concert, you keep playing, learning, and adjusting. I remember once during a meditation retreat, I lost my phone and panicked, blaming everyone around me. Not exactly enlightened behavior. My teacher smiled, and reminded me that enlightenment isn't about never feeling frustrated. It's about being yourself in that moment, with compassion and acceptance. Enlightenment isn't a final, static state. It's a journey, a continuous process of growth, learning, and embracing the present moment with mindfulness. It's not about achieving perfection, but about becoming more aware, more present, and more connected with each passing day. The path to enlightenment is never complete, but that's what makes it so profoundly transformative. It's a way of living, not just a state to reach. Part 4. Compassion, the transformative power. Compassion is not just kindness. It is a deep, proactive love for the suffering of others. When my mother fell seriously ill, taking care of her was exhausting, both physically and emotionally. But when I shifted my mindset from, "Why me?" to "How can I show love in this moment?" everything changed. Those difficult tasks became acts of love, and a form of deep meditation. Buddha understood that when we move beyond selfish happiness, and truly connect with others through compassion, life naturally becomes meaningful. Compassion allows us to transcend our own limitations, and reach a deeper understanding of our interconnectedness with others. It's a powerful force that transforms not only our interactions, but our very experience of life. Through compassion, we find purpose, peace, and a sense of belonging, in a world that can often feel overwhelming. In the West, we often wait for that moment of brilliance, a purpose, or calling, that will suddenly appear, clear and obvious. I spent many years chasing after these things: jobs, relationships, spiritual paths, always hoping to find the one thing that would bring meaning to my life. But Buddha's teachings flip this idea on its head. Meaning isn't found in landing the perfect job, or achieving something grand. Instead, it's about being fully present, and engaged in whatever you are doing right now, even in something as ordinary as washing the dishes. Buddha taught us that the true essence of life isn't about searching for one grand, defining moment. It's about cultivating awareness and presence in every moment. By embracing life as it is, without the need for it to be anything extraordinary, we can find deep meaning and fulfillment in even the simplest actions. This shift in perspective opens up a whole new way of experiencing life, where every moment has its own inherent worth. Part 5. Presence, the true source of meaning. Have you ever been completely immersed in something, whether it's music, nature, or a deep conversation, so much so that time seems to disappear, and your worries fade away? This state of flow, this total presence, is the very core of the meaning that Buddhism points to. It's not about doing extraordinary things, but being extraordinary in the most ordinary moments. As the Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "The miracle is not to walk on water, but to walk on the green earth." True meaning is found in our ability to be fully present in the here and now. It's not about chasing after future goals or waiting for a grand moment. It's about embracing the richness of every moment, no matter how simple or routine. When we cultivate this deep presence, life itself becomes a miracle, and every action, no matter how small, becomes filled with meaning. Part 6. Life is not about searching for meaning, it's about creating it. Buddha taught that nothing has inherent, fixed meaning. Life is like a blank canvas. Meaning arises from how we choose to paint it. You don't need to wait for some grand cosmic purpose to appear. Every choice you make, every connection you form, and every moment you fully inhabit creates meaning. It's like enjoying a song on Spotify, knowing it will eventually end. The joy lies in the experience itself, in being present with it here and now. Meaning doesn't come from waiting for something to happen. It's already happening in the small, everyday moments we engage with. We create meaning through our actions, our presence, and the love we give and receive. The art of life is in shaping each moment, fully embracing it as it unfolds. When we stop resisting life, and begin to be fully present, with focused attention and an open heart, freedom naturally emerges. The issue isn't about avoiding suffering, but about living fully with it. Ask yourself, what can happen right now? How can I be here, fully in this moment, knowing it will never come back again? That is the ultimate meaning each moment, each breath. True freedom comes when we let go of the need to control or escape life's challenges. Instead, we embrace each moment as it comes, recognizing its impermanence and richness. In doing so, we unlock the deepest form of freedom, the freedom to live without fear, without expectation, and without regret. This perspective reshapes suffering, not as a curse, but as the raw material for a meaningful life. It invites us to engage deeply with life, with compassion and mindful awareness, accepting impermanence and imperfection that make existence vibrant and precious. In this way, the ancient wisdom of Buddha opens a path to freedom, not by avoiding suffering, but by transforming our relationship with it through love and presence. Imagine yourself many years from now, looking back not at the trophies or milestones, but at how you lived fully in the simple, ordinary moments, the steam rising from your morning coffee, the rare times you truly listened to someone. The simple, grounding feeling as your feet touch the earth. That is the real miracle, being fully present with life as it unfolds, messy, imperfect, and beautiful. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to the Destiny Lies in Your Hands channel. Let's continue exploring the deepest wisdom of life together. Remember, suffering is not a curse. It is the raw material from which we create meaning, connection, and ultimately, true freedom.